Hi, I'm Alexandrian, founder of A to Z Communications, and this is the Brand Stories podcast. This is where we discuss all things related to branding. Today's guest is Lorianne Iulio Casdia, who has gone through several iterations of her career, amassing a wide variety of skills. She'll discuss how that has contributed to her brand and help her to get to the place where she is today as America's #1 Take Action Success Coach. Hi, Lorianne. Thank you so much for coming on the Brand Stories podcast. I'm so lucky to have you today.
So happy to be here, Ali. I love doing anything with you. You're amazing.
I love you too. So for the listeners, I was going to say viewers, I guess they're viewers and listeners. So Lorianne and I have known each other, I want to say like 10 years now, which I feel like ages both of us, but we both look quite young. So that's not the case.
Younger than when we first met. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I like that. Definitely. So I had guests on your podcasts and I've loved that. You were even nice enough to have me on yours. And now I'm trying to return the favor. I think it's really important to have you on this podcast because you as a brand have evolved so much and you've done so many things in your career that's interesting for people to understand how the brand evolves with you.
Yeah, without a doubt. So ultimately it's about placement, but you can't have placement until you have your assets in place. Assets meaning websites, social media, and what your messaging is and what your intention is. So when you have that in place, then taking those next steps are really good. A lot of people are making a huge mistake, which is they're going right into podcasting. And unless you want to be a full-time podcaster, that's not the best way to go, as you know, and you've also given that great information to other people, great guidance, I should say, to other people.
Oh, well, thank you. Among the first questions that I ask is, what's your favorite brand and why? If you want to just describe what you feel like makes a good brand, that would be great.
Yeah. So for me, it's not one specific brand, but for me, it's anything that's heart-centered, all natural, and definitely has an element of give back. When I'm coaching people in their businesses, that's one of the things I really recommend is there something you're passionate for that you can give back to? Because then you share it with the people who are working with your brand. And I have a couple of different companies, and it's the experience you have when you go there, when they're responsive, that there's a process, that it's clear, that you know what you're getting and that they don't bait and switch. I know with my industry as a coach, a lot of times they'll give you a taste, but they don't give you anything, or they'll tell you they're going to do something, but they really don't do that. And you don't get the product out on the other end. That's not how I operate. I give way too much, but I feel good about that. And when we work together, you get even more levels to that building a business onion, if you will. There's so many levels when you're running your own business that I'll give you the tools. And if you want to take them, you understand them, run and go with them, take them. But if you really want to get into the levels and into the juice and really have somebody walking alongside you, that's when I get into it. Those are the type of brands I like working.
That makes sense. As far as the giving back, so how did you decide to incorporate that, or why do you feel like that's the most important thing to add to what a brand is giving to someone?
Yeah, so the giving back element is we're here for each other. We're here to support each other. Although we need to make money to pay our bills because banks don't accept kindness as a payment for your mortgage. And I get that. We also need to also give back to our communities. And what that give back is it looks different for everybody. It needs to really resonate with you. And honestly, it's a juju thing too. It's a karma thing. When you give to other people, things come back to you from universe. So universe, God, source rewards us for giving and supporting other people. And honestly, we're here for two reasons. We're here to learn as humans, and we're here to support one another and teach one another and learn from each other. So that's an important element of giving back. And you're in your community, you've chosen the community you're in. Why wouldn't you give back to that community and become a member? That's when you're really infusing yourself into your community, when you're giving back. And that could look like writing a check, to volunteering, to a combination of that, to giving a portion of your proceeds back. Those are the companies that resonate with me. And because I know that they're really thinking not just about themselves. Profitability is important. There's nothing wrong. Everybody needs to make a profit. So it's really important that you give back, and then it comes back to you tenfold.
Absolutely. So you were talking about the membership component, and I think that that's really interesting because some of the brands that I like the most, you're right, There's one thing to, you participate in it, you buy it, you use it, whatever it is. But when you become a member, it's a part of you. So how do
Yeah.
you get to that status of membership level and building that kind of community around yourself?
Yeah, it's about building a community. So you're serving these people, and then you want to continue serving the people. And I think a big thing that new businesses don't take advantage of is their current clients. They already know you, they're already invested in you, they already know what you're going to give, and you can continue to give them other services. And we can kind of put them to the wayside because we're always looking for the new clients. But we need to make sure we give our current clients, our community, the best that we can give them. So that's where the membership comes in, and becoming a member of the community like Lions Club or Moose Club or Rotarians or whatever, your church, your local church. When you get into those memberships, there's a couple things that happen. Once there's a back and forth of services, kind of like what we do. Back and forth of services. You're amazing at PR. I'm so we do back and forth services. That happens in these communities as we start to help each other out. Again, one of the reasons why we're here is we're supposed to support each other. And sometimes that's business transaction, and sometimes it's just bartering transactions, whichever the case may be. It's still a transaction that allows you to become a member. So that membership is important because now you're part of something bigger than yourself. And that makes you feel more part of the community, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned that some business coaches don't approach things the way that you do. And so you define yourself very specifically, and I want to let you give yourself those words. But so, how would you explain to somebody when and why they need a coach?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one, when you need somebody to walk alongside of you, the thing about being an entrepreneur, a business person, a human being, is that we need sounding boards.
Yep.
And sometimes it's not the people around us that we need the sounding boards from because they don't understand what we do. So they're like, okay, it sounds cool, but they can't really give us that guidance, right? Or they don't have that business knowledge on how to build that business or what next steps you should take in your career. Because I do transitional coaching. So whenever you're in some kind of transition, that's when you come to me because I can help you with those steps. And I have a 3-step process that is absolutely proven system that works every single time. But when you're going down that road, you know when you need a coach when you're not sure what your next step is. And one indicator of that is you keep doing other things. You keep working on things that aren't getting you clients or aren't selling your product or not getting you out there. You're avoiding something over here that you don't know what the answer is. That's a perfect time to call up someone like myself and say, Coach, what do I do? And it's okay not to have all the answers. I didn't have all the answers. I stubbed my toe a whole lot. I have a lot of don't do this, like don't do what I did t-shirts, but that's what the coach is for. I've been through all those things. I've experienced those transitions, and those big pivots have such big opportunity for big change. And so those you don't want to miss on. So you want to bring someone like myself along. And that's when you want to reach out to a coach when you're not sure what your next steps are, but you know what you want to do. You just don't know the steps. That's a great time to bring in a coach because the coach should be able to get you through the steps. And make sure when you get a coach, very, very important that the coach has a coach, at least one coach, because a coach without a coach is not coachable. Wow. Let me say that again. A coach without a coach is not coachable. So there, and your coach shouldn't tell you what to do. We make suggestions, you make decisions. So I will give a vast amount of different suggestions, and when one feels right, we go with that. And sometimes my clients will take a turn that I don't recommend, but I'm still there to help them pick up their pieces because they said, nope, this is the way I want to go. Okay, let's do it. These are the things that may come into play. May, important word, may come into play. And if they do, a coach is there to help you jump through those hurdles or get over those molehills, if you will. But it's really good to have a sounding board. A lot of the CEOs from Fortune 100, 500 companies, they can't talk to their board because they may lose confidence is what we worry about. Your colleagues, you don't want to lose confidence with them. You can't talk to your employees, your spouse or significant other, you don't want to feel like you don't know what you're doing, but there are times you just need to bounce things off of people. Great time to have a coach because that's what you do. It should always be proprietary. It's just the two of us chatting. Nothing goes beyond us. There's NDAs when you work with me. I don't even let people know who my clients are unless they want to, and they can shout from the rooftops. And I hope that they do. Those are my raving fan clients who get me other clients. But I think that confidentiality is an important level. So if it feels good when you're talking to someone and you get that good feeling and they're supportive, I'm what I call a cheerleader. I'm a raving fan of my clients to help them be successful. That's my job, and it's a great feeling, and I love what I do.
Yeah, you've taken so many people from here, and like you said, whether they veered off the path or whether they kept going with you, it's great to see the successes that you've accomplished. So
Yeah. Oh,
for the
thank
work
you
that
for
you're
saying
doing.
that. And people will take steps back. We take a couple of steps back, couple steps forward. Sometimes it's a lot of steps back and a lot of steps forward. So you just never know what that transition looks like and what the journey looks like, but it's okay. It's still a journey. There's reasons why we have to sometimes take a step back. And if we have the right mindset, and I work a lot with people on their mindset, they come in with a business idea or a business issue or challenge that they want to jump. But I find that a lot of times it's a mindset thing first. And then I watch them just blow up and soar. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful when it happens. Matter of fact, we were on a call earlier together where somebody was mentioning a journey that they had taken, and they went from one mindset to another, and now it has changed everything. It's a different game for them, and it's a good thing.
Absolutely. I think among the things that's so interesting about you is because you've had so many different life experiences and whatnot, you can honestly show up and ask you a question, and you probably know the answer because you probably did it at some point. How have you gone throughout your career and amassed all these accomplishments and different skills that you have, and have you taken that and made it part of your brand?
Thank you for that. So it's about a tool belt, right? So every experience that I had through my life, I was developing my tools that I can now reach into. And it's not only that, it's my network of people that I have. So if I don't have the answer, I can reach out to someone like you and say, Allie, somebody needs some major positioning. I need you to do some PR work for them, position them. They are ready for it. I know when they're ready from my own life experiences. So all of the experiences we have in our life up to this point really gives us all the tools that we need right now. And that's something that I noticed at one job. I was sitting there and I went for an interview, and this HR person was not a happy person. I had already been hired by the CEO. She wasn't happy that she wasn't in the process, but she took my resume because I do have a variety of backgrounds in different industries. At the time I was doing marketing. At the end of the day, marketing works for any industry. It's the baseline. So that really incorporates, it's just a different product we're marketing.
Yep.
So she just looked at my resume. She switched it in her hand. She flipped it in her hand and she like slid it across the table at me, this really long conference table. And it came sliding over to me. And she goes, "What am I supposed to do with this? You've never worked in this industry." And I was like, "I don't have to." But that, what am I supposed to do with that? That gave me an aha moment of, I have all of these tools from all the variety of different jobs that I have chosen to work in and industries I've chosen to work in because I'm curious. And curious is really good for a coach. So I'm curious. I'm like, really? You do that? How do you do that? What do you do? I ask a gazillion questions. It's all really good. But those tools from every other thing that I've done from when I was very little all went in my tool belt that I get to use with my clients every day. Not to mention, I trained with some of the greats in my industry: Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Mary Morrissey, Mel Robbins. The list goes on and on. I mean, you name it. I basically either taken courses or actually trained with them. I'm a certified Canfield trainer. I train other coaches, and I coach coaches to develop a good business. They get trained and certified to be a coach, but not how to run a business. I know how to run a business and establish a good business. And those are the tools that I take from all of my life experiences. And to be honest with you, Allie, all the mistakes I made, and I've made some doozies. And it's just like, okay, let's learn from it. And that's how I look at mistakes. I don't think that mistakes or failure, as some people look at it, as bad things. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn something. We don't really learn from our successes. And isn't that amazing?
It is. And
Yeah.
you're exactly right. The same way that you have to learn how to ride a bike by falling off it a bajillion times, same thing here.
Yeah, we're not going to get on the bike and ride away unless you're like a savant, and maybe you will, but those are far and few between, and that ain't me. I fell off the bike, got back on, fell off, did the same exact thing. I was like, oh, well, maybe I should try something different. And I'm sure we've all, and your listeners and viewers have all done the same thing. There's that definition of insanity. Why are we doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome? So yeah, so I've made the mistakes, and you know what? We got to be kind to ourselves because that's how humans learn, by making mistakes. So it's a really cool thought process. And when you have that mindset that it's okay, it's going to happen, as long as you're genuine to yourself and you be yourself. And that's the most important tool I think I discovered is I gave away myself to other people to try to be who they wanted me to be, and I lost who I was. And that was my biggest transition because I was like, no, that's not who I want. I want that 18-year-old fierce Lorianne who was afraid of nothing and would try anything and was curious. I wanted her back, and I got her back, and it was the best thing I ever did. And I am who I am with all of my quirks, idiosyncrasies. This is who I am, and this is who I'm meant to be, just like you're Allie. I could never be Allie. You could never be Lorianne, and we don't want that. So those are the beautiful things that we bring into the world. And that's what I try to help my clients is to be who they are and just be genuine. People talk about being genuine all the time, and it sounds like a catchword now. It's like a phrase, but it really, really is just be who you're meant to be. Embrace that, and you're going to find life is so much easier and so much better and beautiful, and things just are handed to you. Life can be gentle and easy. It doesn't have to be hard work. And I love what I do, like you love what you do, and it's not difficult because this is what we're meant to do.
It's true. So, what was that aha moment when you realized A, that you had strayed off the path of being fierce Lorianne, and then B, when you said, I have to get back there, whatever it takes, that's what I'm going to do?
Yeah, a great question. So it was a point where I didn't like who I was, and I knew I wasn't feeling good. You feel it here. You feel it right in your intuition, right in your chest. This is not what I want. This is not who I want to be. This is not me. One of the questions I actually kept asking myself before I got to that point of this is not what I want was, how do people think that I would think a different way than I do? How do they not know me? Well, I'll tell you how. I had a wall and a moat and a wall in front of me protecting myself. And what I really did was I imprisoned myself from other people, and I didn't let them see the good, the bad, the ugly. We all have good, bad, and ugly. Let's be honest. We all have our good moments. We all have our bad moments, and we all have our really ugly moments. And we're not proud of those, but that gives us an opportunity to become the better version of ourselves. Well, I wasn't letting people in for fear of getting hurt, for fear of trust. And I had to find out what that was and find out where that came from and repair it and live with it and then become the person that I am. And that made me happy. And that's where fierce Lorianne, fearless of anything, wants to try all these new things, came back into play. And from that point, I said I would never do that again. And when I see people doing it, I try gently to guide them through back to who they really are and to say no. And that's why the word imperfect is so perfect, because it says within it, I'm perfect. So we are imperfectly perfect. Embrace it. It's beautiful. We're supposed to be. If we were perfect, then we would be him, and we're not. And that's the beauty of it. And that's where we just glow. And that's what I want to see out of people. And that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm absolutely positively here to do.
Yeah. And you're doing a fabulous job at it. So thank you. So building that brand and embracing the good, the bad, and the ugly, how do you encourage people? Just look at yourself, and you have to own all of you. That as much as we want to get rid of the ugly bits are there. And if you own that too, that's part of your brand.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't mean you have to be ugly. You just have to recognize that maybe I could do this better. Maybe I could be a nicer, kinder person. Maybe I need to be more connected with spirit, source, God, universe, however you want to refer to your higher power. I think those things bring us back to center and bring us here. And the other thing is we need to work from here. If we think from our heart, if we go into our heart, then we're not going to get into our head. Our head will take us off course. Our head will spiral us into, oh my gosh. But our heart will never do that. Think about it. When we're in our heart and we're loving to ourselves and to others, when we're loving to ourselves, Because if we're not, who's going to be? Then we spill out into the world. And that's how you start your brand. Your brand is you. No matter where you are, if you're an individual working for someone else, you are your brand. So show up as you and show up the best you can. And there are days we show up really good, and there are days we show up really well, and there are days we don't show up really well, and that's okay too. There are days I am cranky, but it's important to know that we have to be honest with ourselves. Life isn't just be positive. Everybody's like, oh, you have to be positive. No, we have to be positive in a realistic way to understand what hurdles we have in front of us. But we can be positive that we know we can jump those hurdles. That's the difference. So we need to recognize what the challenges are. And when we're full body positive and knowing that, being real with ourselves of what our challenges are, what our weaknesses are, then we have an opportunity to strengthen those weaknesses. We have an opportunity to be honest with ourselves because we're being genuinely with ourselves and saying, you know what, that isn't what I want. I want this. I don't want that path. I want this path. How can I make that happen? What do I need to do? If I'm a basketball player, do I work out every day? What do I need to do to accomplish that? So it's a combination of being positive and also taking the action. And I'm a take action girl. Take action. You want to do it, take the action. Don't think about it. Don't wrestle with it. If you do, you're not going anywhere. You're a hamster in a hamster wheel. We're not going anywhere. Take the action. You're going to stumble. You might fall. Get a coach. We're there to help pick you up. Get a bestie. They're there to help you pick you up. I mean, my bestie is my cheerleader. And I know you've heard me say this before. She's the best. Because when I talk to her, she has really good insight. And let's be honest, we can't read the label from the inside of the bottle. So we need somebody on the outside being honest, kind, but honest, and helping us understand what we really need. And when you do that, when you're branding and understanding what you need and what your client's journey is going to be and what your offering is and what your intention is, what do you want out of doing what you do? What is it that you want is an important part of branding, which a lot of people miss. It's like, well, why are you doing this? Oh, well, because, they need this widget. No, you didn't answer my question. Why are you selling this widget? Why are you selling this service? What is it that you want to get out of it? Because it's a reciprocal. And a lot of people never ask that question of what do I want? And that what do I want element is important, is so important, because the what I want gives you the why. The why is your purpose. When somebody talks purpose and somebody talks your why, it's the same thing. When you figure that out, what you want, and you know it, and it's all here. We have all the answers right here. We already have our success codes already built in. When we were born, I knew I was going to end up here. And when I look back, I had all the signs. Didn't know it at the time. But now looking back, it's always easier to look back in the rearview mirror. It's like, oh yeah, that was there all along. But I wasn't ready for it. I needed all these other tools. And that's the other thing, is knowing when you're ready. Coach helps you do that. PR people help you do that. You need other people to help mirror back what you're putting out there. And when you get that mirror back, that helps you with your branding. Go out and ask the questions. It's okay. You may not like the answer, but it may give you the direction that you need if you want to pay attention to it. And that's the whole thing. You have to choose to pay attention. I could have ignored what happened. I could have ignored that I wasn't happy with myself and kept going on. But actually, my body started failing me because it's like, you're not paying attention. You're not taking the nudges so now we're going to start shutting down. And the stress in my body, it was not good. I had colitis, I had IBS. I don't have that anymore.
Wow.
Not at all. It had nothing to do with medication, none whatsoever. I don't really take pharmaceuticals. But it was the fact that, and a doctor kept saying to me, since I had my first child, you need to reduce your stress. How am I going to do that? Life is stressful.
Yep.
It's not when you're doing what you're supposed to do, when you are joyful at what you do, when you look at the world with a different lens. And I always talk about having two lenses. Change your lens. Look at it from a different perspective. Everything is not horrible.
Well, so as America's #1 take action success coach, I just wanted to make sure that I got that out there. If everyone's not, yeah, I love that. You've already practiced your wave.
I got the queenly wave. I just need the tiara.
Well, we'll get you one. I'm sure everybody's going to be inspired by this podcast and getting so much out of it. But you also have the Forged in Fire retreat coming up. So as another opportunity for people, if they feel like they need that really immersive experience. So if you don't mind talking a little bit about that and who that suits.
Yeah, so our retreats are really immersive and it differentiates from a lot of retreats. A lot of retreats you go, you get all this yumminess, you get all the pumped up, and then you go home and then you go back into your regular life and all the stuff you learn kind of stays in a notebook. We don't want that. So when we do a retreat, we have a pre-meeting with everybody who's attending. So you kind of already know the people who are going to be there. So you get rid of that nervous jitter about going to the retreat. Then when we get to the retreat, we really break a lot of things down and build you up and give you tools and help you implement those tools into your business model while you're there and follow up afterwards. There's what we call aftercare after it as well. And the important element of our retreats, which really differentiates us, is we always incorporate enjoying the areas that we're going to. So whether it's, in the mountains of Denver or it's Costa Rica, like the Fortune and Fire retreat, we are incorporating the island, letting you visit the island and giving you time to process what we learn in the morning or the experientials that we have in the morning, in the afternoon, and also create that community and interact with the other people who are attending and start building those relationships. And we really build a beautiful community when we're there. So it's all those things put together that I think make our retreats so successful and really worth it. And then it's the continuation afterwards, because we want to make sure that you're incorporating in, because they're new habits. And the number one thing a lot of people do with habits is they pile on habits. We need to replace a habit with a better new habit. And then once we achieve that goal, like I'll give a habit, we're all hopefully brushing our teeth every morning. That's no longer on our habit list. And hopefully you are. And if you're not, we should talk. And your dentist will have something to say about that too. But that became a habit that is already a habit. So it's already instilled in us. We get up, we do whatever in the morning, and that's part of our morning ritual. Then we replace that with a new habit that we have to look at and learn. People stack too many, and that's why their end of the year or beginning of the year resolutions don't work, because they make them too big too quick. I want to lose 100 pounds in 5 days. Okay, that's not going to happen, my love. But we can get you to lose 100 pounds. There's the positive, but there's also the reality. So the same thing with that. So the Fortune Fire, and thank you for bringing that up, our retreats, because I always have other practitioners there as well. It really helps you with mindset. It helps you with business. It helps you with life. It just helps you as a human. And you bring back all these yummy tools that we also help you incorporate. And we're always there to help, to answer questions, say, I'm not sure how to do this or incorporate. That's what we're there for. So I think that's another thing that differentiates us. It's not like one and done. It's when you need us, just call us. We're there.
Thank you for being such a good extension for all the people that you work with, because you're right, you've become that trusted source.
It's so true. I got a phone call from one of my clients and she was having a moment and she's like, and if I cry, don't get upset. And I was like, okay, why are we crying? What's happening? And by the end of the conversation, she was laughing. She never cried. And she recognized her strength in the conversation. She was doing the right things. And sometimes we need that bounce. So pick up the phone. Don't do it alone. Listen, in my transitions, I did it alone. And I promised myself I would never allow other people that I was aware of to do things alone. You don't have to. We're out here. We're here to help you, make it easier for you. Don't do it alone. You don't have to. It's really hard when it's alone, because you start second guessing yourself and you get in your head. Mm-hmm. We got to keep you out of your head and keep you in your heart. When you're in your heart, everything is so much easier to make decisions and move forward. And I am so grateful for you coming into my life 10 years ago. Not only did you give me great people for my radio show, but also you have just been a positive influence in my life and such an amazing PR person. You've gotten me awards, you've gotten me on podcasts, on other shows, and I am so appreciative of you having me on your exclusive podcast, Allie. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
Well, thank you for everything that you're doing. And I hope anybody, if you're looking for a coach, if you're just looking for a very good friend, you got one right here. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie.
Of course.